I'm Lauren Pappas for IdeateTV, and today we are joined by the Ghost Brothers, Juwan and Dalen Spratt, to talk about their show Ghost Brothers Lights Out, which is on Discovery Plus. The third brother, Marcus, he couldn't join us today, but shout out to him.
Shout out to Marcus.
He's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit. I like that. So thank you for joining us today, guys. How are you doing?
Oh man, today's a beautiful day.
Great, doing well, feeling good, feeling great. How about you?
I am awesome. Where are you guys coming from?
We in hot Atlanta.
We
Atlanta,
in the A, got it. That's where we stay, shot it.
Awesome. I love it. I love Atlanta. I've been there before. It's very cool.
Let me find out. You kicking in the city.
It's not cool though. It's hot. It's hot Atlanta. It's not cool there.
You got it. It's hot Atlanta.
So congrats on the success of your show. You guys are going into the 4th season. Is that correct?
It's a little different. It's
like
our,
that, yeah.
our fourth show. Our 4th show. So we had 2 seasons of the original Ghost Brothers. Then we had 1 season of Ghost Brothers Haunted House Guests. Then we have our show that's airing now, which is Fright Club with Jack Osborne. And then we're heading into Ghost Brothers Lights Out. So we got a franchise going. It's a whole bunch of Ghost Brothers out there.
There's a lot of us.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That's a big deal. You guys are a big deal.
Yeah, you know, just trying to pave the way.
I love it. I love it. So I'm dying to know, no pun intended, but I'm dying to know how you guys got started. Like, how did you get into being ghost hunters?
Yeah, we tell people all the time, the story isn't as exciting as people would think. It literally came from me and Juwan being broke roommates living together way back in the day. And I was up one night, probably around 2-3 o'clock in the morning, watching one of the Ghost Hunter television shows. And I just realized that I didn't see any reflection or any representation like myself on any of these shows. And I was like, now white folks ain't the only people dying around here now. Like, it gotta be some other things to this. And I remember busting into Juwan's room at 3 a.m, trying to get him to come ghost hunt. And yeah, that didn't work out the way you thought it would.
But we're here now. We're here now. So it worked out just like it was supposed to.
Right.
It was really dope. It was crazy because we did that 5 years before we even got a TV show. So it's been a long and patient ride, but exciting nonetheless.
Why do you think it is that there wasn't, people in that space that were, like you guys of your ethnicity? Like, why was it all white people? Why was it white dominated?
Do you want to know the real answer?
Yeah, no, I do. I want to be real here.
Fake stuff, Dalen. So
So when we first came up with the idea for Ghost Brothers, we took some meetings trying to get people to see the bigger picture. And what we got back then was Black people don't ghost hunt. So where's the show gonna go? BET? No, because Black people aren't gonna want to watch it. And Black people don't ghost hunt. So where's it gonna go? Mainstream media? No, because white people aren't gonna want to watch Black people ghost hunt. It wasn't until 2015-16 when I don't know if you're familiar with the Oscars campaign. They had the Oscars campaign, the Oscars So White. And that's back when they were saying that there weren't enough minority television being ushered through mainstream media. And God shined down on us and we were blessed with the opportunity, and we were ushered through the same window, the show Blackish, Fresh Off the Boat. It was like a slew of minority television that, networks took chances on. And yeah, they all did pretty well.
It's
good. Well, I love you guys. I think you're so funny. I was watching some of your episodes and you're hilarious because it's most of these ghost shows are pretty serious and they're heavy and you feel kind of depressed watching them. But when I watch you guys ghost hunt, I'm laughing and having a ball, and you shed light on the darkness, and it's amazing.
I mean, like, you laugh while you're alive. So who's to say you lose your sense of humor when you die, right? So like, we just try to offer these situations levity, and it's proven to offer the same results that you would get with somebody who could be antagonizing the spirit, right? So it's been a awesome experience.
We tell people all the time, ghosts were people too. So the same type of personalities you had when you were living, I'm pretty sure you have when you pass away. So that's just kind of the energy that we move in with, just love, light, and laughter.
Man,
That's amazing.
We're with our best friends. So like, you know, everything when you do with your friends is always funny. But you find the humor in majority of all those things.
Right, right. Yes. I love like watching your dynamic, and you can really see like how you guys have this great relationship, and it really plays out well on camera because it's real. My question is, how do you communicate with the dead? Like, how, did you know that you had this like innate ability, or is it something that you had to learn and like go to school for? Like, how do you go about doing that? Can anybody do this, or do you have special powers?
You know what? To be honest, I feel like the only
I was bit by a spider. I was bit by a spider, and then I just became
was bit by a spider. He got bit by a spider.
This came no.
But no, I feel like the only prerequisite is just being a people person. Like that's all that it takes. Like I feel like we do well with it. We've been likened to people tell us we're the type of guys that you could go have a drink with, that you want to have a drink with. And we carry that same energy over into our investigation. So we don't come in with big egos or big bravado, cussing and yelling and trying to stir up stuff. Because if you wouldn't want nobody coming to your house, knocking stuff over, yelling and screaming, and then asking you to come talk to them. So you got to treat the dead just like you treat the living. We knock before we go in places. We say, excuse me. We introduce ourselves. Like we really treat these spirits as if they were still living people.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, I mean, that brings me to my next question. What have you learned about life dealing with the deceased?
Oh, that's, you know what? No one has ever asked us that question. That's a dope question.
I know investigating at this location in Georgia, it was a Fitzpatrick Hotel. And a woman said, man, you got to be more concerned about the living than the dead. And you're like, and you realize like, wow, okay. Like it's a certain like interesting practice that you kind of take away from it. I think dealing with the afterlife kind of takes a toll on like your heartstrings on a different perspective, because you never really know like where, like what it is. Like I knew there was a heaven and a hell, but I don't know like what that really looks like after the fact. You know what I mean? Like I think we're walking in this journey, and it's like everything is new, everything is fresh, but you can't necessarily, you don't have the answers, and we're just in search of it. And I think that's just like the unique aspect about it.
I think for me, what it taught me about life is genuinely take it day by day and live it the way that you want to live it. Because during these investigations, we find that a lot of these spirits are living in these residual hauntings or living amongst these residual emotions. So for instance, the Allen house, was a woman whose heart was broken and she ended up taking her life. So she was sad right before she died. And now her spirit haunts this house with this somber tone and vibe. So it's almost she's living that despair twice over. She lived it in life and she's living it in death. So for me, that tells me, man, treat every day like it's golden, no pun intended to the song, but literally live, love, and laugh. Because if you do pass away, you want that same energy. You don't want to be, sad in life and it's sad in the afterlife.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah, I couldn't wait to ask you guys that question because I knew you'd have an amazing answer, and you're so enlightened, and what you do is so unique. And how many people have had the experiences that you guys have had? And I feel like you have this different perspective about life. Like if you were to do like LSD or something, like it's just, you've been to another dimension that other people haven't been to. And so I'm so grateful that you could share that with us.
So what I'm hearing, Lauren, is that you're comparing us to Deepak Chakra. Like you're saying we're one of those. That's what I heard.
Yeah, no, but I think that you guys are like, I think you're along those lines.
I'm with it. I take it. I received that. No.
I love it. I love it. I wanted to know, like what was your most frightening experience with the paranormal? Like, is there one specific situation that really stands out to you where you were just scared to death? No pun intended.
Yeah, I know for me, I take it back to the Magnolia Plantation It's an old slave plantation that we visited. It was one of the first ones. It was the first one that any of us had ever stepped foot on, and especially investigated. But there was a moment where I think I was blindfolded, and I was sitting in one of the slave quarters, and wooden floors. I was in a room by myself. We only had stationary cameras positioned in the corners of the roof. But literally, I heard footsteps running around me on this wooden floor. Oh my gosh, it freaked me out. It freaked me all the way out. I had to calm down. But yeah, just knowing that you're in a room by yourself, but you hear footsteps on a wooden floor all around you, that was creepy.
Oh my gosh.
Mine was House of Wills. This didn't even make the episode. So we had to go, there's a basement and then there's a sub basement. And so like, I don't even know how you have a sub basement. How do you have below a basement? Like,
I was thinking the same thing.
The basement was the lowest you could go. Yeah, I thought the basement was the lowest you can go. So I had to go investigate the sub basement. It was like, at this point, Dalen and I were the only ones going into the investigation. Marcus was like, yo, I can't go in. My spirit won't allow me to go in. I'm not dealing with anything demonic. So that was the first time we've ever split an investigation, and all three of us didn't go in. So now it's just Dalen and I. He goes to one area of the property. I go to another, and I'm going to this sub basement, and I reach the stairs, and it was almost like something took a hold on me, and I'm like, I can't go any further. Like, I was terrified. I mean, to the point to where I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. It was so dark. Like, I'm in my mind, I'm just reciting just like Bible scriptures over and over. I'm like, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me like I'm literally going through it because I can't bring up the courage to take a step forward down these steps. It was like, I felt like there was something down in the basement that could have been looking back up at me. There was like, it was just like most terrifying energy that I really could even like feel. The problem was I couldn't articulate that in the show. Like I came back to Dalen trying to tell it and explain it, and I was just hysterical. Like I couldn't even get the words out. And I was like, that is indicative of me being like scared and frightened to like the highest level. I was speechless.
Wow, Juwan, I have chills. And like, I can just imagine, I'm a huge fan of scary movies, and I feel like you guys are living in a real life scary movie. Like that's what you do for a living. It's unreal. So obviously your instincts kick in. Like, how do you, like, you must be so in touch with your instincts with the job that you have. Has that translated into like your love lives or like your friendships or anything like that? Like, it seems like you guys have these, I don't know, like your senses are more heightened than other people.
You know what? I think that comes from being a child of like the 80s and 90s and growing up in pop culture. Like literally, I've seen every horror movie that you could ever think of. So we go into these investigations and you think that we know what we're doing, but we're actually just replaying every horror movie we've ever seen in our mind and just trying to make sure that we make it out alive. Because you know the brothers usually don't.
They usually don't. I'm like, that's the goal. That is objective number one for us to make it out of here alive.
Yeah. But as far as like love life and stuff, I think my senses are heightened, and I think it's make me more I don't know. So I'm recently engaged. So my fiance.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I think that she would probably say that you know, I make sure that we appreciate life more so now. So doing courageous things like, you know, skydiving or, you know, doing just fun things that you typically wouldn't do, but just appreciating life more while you have it. You know what I mean? So I think I'm able to just enlighten her and just kind of push her a little bit more with that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely think it makes me a little bit more, I think it makes me more adventurous. So to Dalen's point, like I want to go try new things from an outdoorsy standpoint. I think it also heightens you from a spiritual standpoint, or just like you become a little bit more in tune with like your senses. I remember one time Dalen and I walked into a friend's house and we looked at each other and we were like, yo, it's haunted, right? He was like, yeah, it's haunted. Like you just walk in and you like, I can feel it. It's just different. And I don't know if it's good or bad. You said what?
It has a pungent smell.
it's usually like the drapery. That's how you can tell. Like, no, but it's just like it's a feeling that like, you just end up growing. You just get after you start doing these things for so long, you just become a little bit more in tune.
What did your families think about you guys getting into this line of work?
It's funny. My mother's a pastor of a church. She's been my pastor since I was in the 3rd grade. And I remember coming home to visit her one day, and I was like, man, Mama, you know why Ghost Brothers does so well? She was like, why, baby? I said, because we don't know what we're doing. And people enjoy watching us not know what we're doing. And she looked at me and just stared me in my eyes and was just like, you're right. Because if you truly knew what you were doing, you wouldn't be doing it. And when I tell you my heart just dropped, because I felt like it wasn't my mother speaking to me, it was my pastor from my church, like really telling me that I'm playing with something that I have no business playing with. And she just walked off after that. I was like, dang, you ain't gonna get a hug or nothing after that? Like,
my mother it says like, if you're a ghost brother, I'm a ghost mother, and she's just been extremely supportive. But my other family members, it's been interesting because they've now come to me with like their own personal stories of like spiritual occurrences, and it's just kind of like open the door for dialogue that we probably wouldn't have had before. So it's been a real cool journey just to kind of hear that like I have family that's experienced certain things and they didn't want to talk about it until now I've started walking in this particular path.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you both have really sweet and very smart, supportive mothers. You're lucky. But does it scare you that you might be messing with something that you shouldn't be messing with, along the lines of what Dalen's mother said? Like, are you afraid that it could go too far?
wholeheartedly. I'm from Texas, and there's this guy that owns a record label named Jay Prince. And he has a saying that says, if you keep campaigning, you're going to eventually get elected. And I kind of feel like that's where we are in this process. Like if we keep knocking on this dark door, eventually somebody's going to open it. And it probably won't be who we want it to be or what we're expecting. And I feel like that day is inevitable.
Yeah, I've never had something like materialize or like manifest itself right before my eyes. And I think on that day, you guys will be investigating me because I will probably pass away. Like I will seriously, I think I'm gonna be so freaked out, I will literally pass out.
Wow. Oh, well, along what you're discussing, it just reminds me of like so many different scary movies that I've seen in my lifetime. And I want to know, what are your guys' favorite scary movies?
Ooh.
Candyman.
Tales from the Hood. Tales from the Hood. Yeah. That I remember just being a little kid and watching Tales from the Hood at home and just seeing these, because that was like one of the first to me like Black horror films that I watched. And yeah, it just told the story from like this urban perspective. And it just resonated with me. And yeah, so Tales from the Hood is a dope movie.
Mine is Candyman. Being from like outside of Chicago, that storyline was based in Chicago in one of the housing projects. And it's just like, there was this story. It's just always been terrifying that this person just is haunting the neighborhood. So Candyman, I don't know, man. What about like, I don't like clowns. Like I'm really terrified of clowns. So like it was a big one.
Yes. I'd have to say, have you guys seen The Conjuring?
Yeah. That's probably most like what we actually do in real life. So yeah, that one hits home.
Yes.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Have you ever connected with Chip Coffee? He's on
Yeah, Chip's the homie.
You know Chip.
We have with Chip.
Let's say I'll call Chip right now. He'll pick up and have a joke for us. Like Chip, that's our man.
He's your boy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So what can we expect in this new season of your show? What do you have any surprises, any teasers for us?
Yeah, this show was actually us getting back to our roots. Original Ghost Brothers going to some of the most craziest places, just proving that ghosts are real. But the twist on this show is Juwan and Marcus don't know anything about the place that they're going to. They don't know the city that we're in. They don't know the location, none of the history, none of the stories, nothing. I'm equipped with this information. So Marcus and Juwan have to go in completely blind and do blind investigating. But what's dope about that is if they come out with any bit of clues or any bits of pieces of information that even remotely reflect the information that I know, it just gives us that extra level of like confirmation that there's something going on in this place.
And it also shows our investigative skills. Like, let's just be like, it lets you know them boys got some skills. We are top investigators.
Professionals. We're professionals.
I love it. Professionals. That is awesome. I have one more question for you. What's that?
I said, you can trust us. We have a TV show.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I mean, you guys are the pros. I have one more question for you, and then I'll let you go. I want to know, how do you stay fit for what you do? I mean, it's got to be long hours. It's got to be, you know, excruciating, sometimes mentally, physically. What do you eat? How do you train? Do you have any rituals before you go ghosting?
I think it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a list. It's a list of things. Like, I mean, before every investigation, we pray. And that's just to kind of offer some protection for us, because we may not know what we are getting into, right? Like, we just don't want to lean to our own understanding in that. And then also, I mean, we use different cleansers like Palo Santo or sage. That's just for after the fact. Like, you gotta protect your peace, because there's a big part of it is mental, and like that can really get in the way if you're not clear-headed.
For me, I gotta take a nap. I gotta take a nap before I go investigate, and I gotta eat something light, because I can't eat a big meal, because come around 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, you have me investigating by myself, you might find me sleep. So you definitely gotta have a light meal and a nap before you get to it.
We try to work out, to be honest, like, because it's a lot of walking. We're literally standing up pretty much like hours on end. I don't even want to give a time frame, because we typically investigate, you know, late night going into the early mornings. But it takes a toll on you for sure.
Yeah, well, those sound like some good tips to keep you guys going during what you do. I mean, it's awesome that you guys take care of your body and that you're just aware of that, so that you can go longer and you can, you know, fulfill the responsibilities of your job and have energy to do it. I lied. I actually have one more question. I am a DJ, and I have to know, what songs inspire you guys? Like, do you listen to any songs before you go ghosting? Like, what fires you guys up?
Say, I remember the one season that I feel like we had an album that just
True.
Yeah, it was what was that? That was Drake and Future. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
I got some really big dreams.
Yeah, that whole season kind of just narrated. That album narrated that whole time in our life. What a time to be alive with Drake and Future.
That was on heavy rotation.
Yeah.
What's another one, man?
Recently, it's been that Moneybag Yo and that little baby, Me Versus Me, and all of that. As you can tell, we have urban ears, but yeah.
I do too. Old school hip hop is my favorite. That's what I love to spin, and then I throw in some new shit. But I love old school hip hop.
Have you ever been paranormal investigating?
What's up?
Have you ever been paranormal investigating?
No, I would love to. I'm like obsessed with this stuff.
If you had to put a song to paranormal investigating, what song would you pick?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. You're really putting me on the spot, Juwan. Maybe I'll have to make a mix for you guys that you can listen to before you go ghosting.
What's your DJ name?
My DJ name?
Yeah.
Is FitDJ.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
There it is.
I love working out. I love music. It's my two passions.
Oh, that's cool. So just combine them. FitDJ.
That's right. That's right, you guys. If you ever need a DJ for your ghosting, just let me know and I'll come out and try not to be too scared.
There it is. There it is.
Well, it was such a pleasure. You two are amazing. Like, you're so warm and you have great energy and you're so inspiring. And it's kind of like an oxymoron. Like, I wouldn't expect it. I would expect somebody in your field just to be kind of like maybe more depressed or, you know, have like less energy. And you guys are just incredible. The ghosts are really lucky to be able to communicate with you guys.
Oh man, that just warmed my heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being with us, guys. And everyone out there, please be sure to check out Juwan and Dalen on Discovery Plus. This is Lauren Pappas with IdeateTV. Bye.